Welcome to another episode of Dated, Faded, Worn Vintage. The Vintage train station has led us here right outside of downtown Houston at Resale Folds and Labels Vintage Streetwear. We're gonna get to know Resale Folds, who is Jesse, here with us today, and get to know a little bit about what got him into the game, how is he here right now, got a shop, and know a little bit more about the Houston and the whole community here. So everything can be found on www.datedfadedworn.com. I am your host Barry, and let's get to know Jesse here. So, and Jesse, why don't you tell people where you're from?
So I grew up in a neighborhood called Magnolia, and obviously it's a lower end of the neighborhood of the city, and there's a lot of thrift stores around. So really the love was early, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Just secondhand, trying to find, clothes to wear.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And trying to get the best bargain for, what you can afford. So that's really where it started at. And then eventually, whenever I started breaking, we would go to the thrift stores purposely to go find all the vintage Adidas gear.
Adidas, looking for Adidas specifically.
So that's when we really became like diggers.
What year was this when?
So I started breaking in '96, and so pretty much right then and there when I saw that the Pumas were a big part of the gear, in Beach Street, stuff like that. So,
right.
So you had to have the top and the bottom. Sometimes a homie thrifted the top and you thrifted the bottom like 2 weeks later, it really happened like that.
You gotta work it out.
It's crazy, bro. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And you say that's not you started not too far away from which is where like you're from.
Right.
So and then you start breaking here, and you said that's not too far away. Right. How do you enjoy Houston? I mean, how do you like Houston overall, being here?
I mean, this is my city, so
it's home,
yeah. This is what made me. This is where I'll probably stay and I'll probably die, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right.
H-Town till I'm gone, you know what
I mean?
right,
that's love right there.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you was actually looking for at that point?
Windbreakers.
Any matching set?
Yeah. And of course, when you're breaking, you got to be able to slide, to spin. So the pants, the jacket, the beanies, that's what really made the outfit pop, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do you still got some of that stuff now?
I have some jackets, I don't have the pants. Man.
Not the pants, not the matching
I
set.
actually have a pair of Adidas from the 70s, and it doesn't even have the actual size. It has the height and the weight that it requires to wear it. Yeah.
No, you gotta let me see that one.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy,
seen
bro.
that.
It's crazy.
Where did that cross from breaking to launching Resale Folds?
Right. So Resale Folds started. Shout out to my boy Ray Guns. He's out of Florida, and he runs Resale Vintage Sportswear.
Okay.
So one day, because of breaking, right? He was at the house staying in town, and he started going through my closet, and he was like, bro. He actually had just quit his job to do it full time.
Okay.
And I had knew that he was doing it, and so I would actually thrift starter jackets, and I would shoot them to him for free.
Nice.
Just like out of the love, because I was like, bro, here you go, blah, blah, blah. And then he started going through my closet, and he was like, dog, this, you could do this, you can make this. I was like, for real? He's like, bro, why don't you sell this? You know?
Right.
He was trying to proxy at first, but then he's like, dog, you should sell it and see what you make,
Yeah.
And so I started to thrift to more for the business than it's, just for myself, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think the very first flip that I had was an Oilers jacket.
Okay.
And my wife was like, what are you doing? And then she saw with the flip what I made, and that's where she was like, all right, I guess it's something. Something. But whenever I started doing it, I had to come up with an Instagram. I had to create something. So I didn't think too much of it, but I noticed that everybody had vintage in their name.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, so everybody has vintage. I didn't want to be like everybody,
Right.
So I knew that I didn't want to just sell vintage. I wanted to resell everything. So that's where the resale came in. Then my wife was a manager at the Gap.
Okay.
And so she would show me how to fold t-shirts and how to fold clothes and all that. And so Resale Folds.
There it is.
So whenever I would do pop-ups, I didn't have racks. I just had tables out, and I would fold them out so people could just see the t-shirt and just point and say, I want that.
I want that.
I want that.
Wow.
So my first pop-up, I had like four tables, just completely surrounded myself with t-shirts.
Awesome. Shout out to Labels Vintage Streetwear.
Yeah, shout out to them, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna show off the shop a little bit, show what Resale Folds and Labels Vintage Streetwear has here and what you can catch. Yeah, let's get right into it. So appreciate you, Jesse. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Barry, man. Big shout out to Barry. He's a hard worker. This guy knows what he's doing, and he just goes for it. You know what I mean? That's the epitome of going independent and just shooting for your goals, you know? You never know unless you shoot that shot.
Yep.
Barry's at the three-point line right now, man.
I'm trying to be, so it's all love and respect. Thank you again, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
For sure.
All right, so we got to know Jesse from Resale Folds, Labels Vintage Streetwear, and now we just gonna get a little taste of where that all comes from and how it all ties together. So Jesse's gonna show us his favorite dated, faded, worn pieces.
Yeah. So pretty much for the ladies, do something like this. I still really fuck with the Guess stripes. Not a lot of people are on it anymore because they follow the trends. But when you follow the style, this is pretty much what it looks like, right? Got the vintage Guess denim with the stripes, right?
So there's two pieces. So.
Yeah,
Okay,
of course.
Good.
And you can find a really good deal here.
Nice. Okay.
So another piece for the ladies. Just got this one in Metallica Puss Head. You know, anybody's familiar with the Puss Head, Mosquito Head? These are super rare, very old. Since it's been distressed a little bit and cut, the value isn't as much, but I mean it's still a really, really dope piece for the ladies. Yeah,
and I was actually here on that note, how rotation works here. I was here when that actually walked into the door, so
Very
like
true.
this is really nice to be able to happen like this as well. So
yeah, and then also everybody loves a good rap tee, right? So you got the very heated vintage Snoop Dogg. This is Labels Vintage Streetwear, so you can find our inventory and their inventory in one shop. So you know, that's just how we do it. And then of course, with the Snoop, you gotta have the Dre, the Dr. Dre. I mean, this is a beautiful piece, really front and back. Even though it got the sleeves cut, this is probably one of the freshest ones on the market, to be straight up.
Nice. Let's get the back of this one too.
Yeah. The classic Snoop logo with the Snoop font. So I mean, it speaks for itself, bro. You know, and that's what's dope about the vintage game is that whenever you come to the shop, you're pretty much gonna get a 1 of 100. You know, these shirts just don't exist anymore, so that's what we do. You know, we find the rarest of the rare and then we sell it to you. People can come and buy VHS and they can sell us their VHS as well. So you know, we take those, we sell vinyl, we sell cassettes. And again, that stuff flies off the shelf. I mean, dog, people come and they shop for everything. So,
And on that note, I'm gonna pick up a Space Jam on the way out. So, but yeah, so that's the dated, faded, worn pieces by Resale Folds. Appreciate your love having us come out and get to know y'all. You know, so
thanks, Barry.
Until the next one, and they will be at the event September 15th. So catch some recap on how their setup is up there. So
yeah,
cool. Until the next episode, shout out to Jesse, shout out to Resale Folds, shout out to Labels Vintage Streetwear, shout out to right downtown Houston right here, the Vintage train station. Until the next one, peace.